Can we talk about how my yield is literally making your hair fall out?
I'm in love. I'm obsessed.
Y'all, this is your sign. If you have curly hair, do not dye your hair.
I actually feel like my hair has been doing better now that I'm blonde, just because I have a better hair regimen. I'm keeping up with my trim.
If you're black and you got black hair, you need to stop air drying right now.
Ignore people when they say air drying damages your hair.
Because it's a lie. Because it's a lie. Because it's a lie.
Never use heat on your hair.
Ever.
I think an underrated superpower on our natural hair journey is learning to follow your own path. And many of us truly know this, but when it comes down to it, we follow so many trends, so many voices, so much information. And because we're not looking within and following and finding our own personal goals, it can make our natural hair journey feel daunting and taxing over freeing, which was originally what it was supposed to do.
The point is to choose a hairstyle that's congruent with your lifestyle and your hair texture.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. My name's Gwen, for those of you who are new here. So we are in December and we're approaching the new year. I hope you guys are enjoying. If you do celebrate as we prepare for Christmas time, I really wanted to kind of end off the year going into the next year with giving some motivation and some encouragement for those of us who are on our natural hair journey. So as I began making these kind of videos, I started to get more and more content recommended to me on the natural hair community, and I realized something. There are a lot of people who are feeling like their whole natural hair journey is more stressful than freeing, and for a lot of us, we started our journey to make it more freeing.
To my natural hair baddies, I'm sick of it. I'm tired. I don't know how y'all do it.
People do really complicate natural hair. Like, people will say, oh, do the LLC method. This is the way to do it. And then someone will come and be like, oh, that's all wrong. You guys have been doing it all wrong for the last 10 years. And this is what you really should be doing. And now everyone's confused and just always going after trends.
I waxed my hair last night because I am tired of fighting with my hair. I feel like I'm pulling out more hair just by trying to be natural. And I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time.
So they're like, you know what, forget it. I might as well go back to a relaxer. I might as well go back to wearing or doing what I was doing before. This is not worth it because it's too crazy and it's not working out for me. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to personalize your own natural hair journey for you personally, because everyone has different hair goals and everyone has different starting points. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys are completely new here, I started my weave free journey back in 2022. Before that, as I always say, I was pretty much addicted to hair extensions. I would not go longer than a day or two without getting my hair sewn back in. I'll link a few videos in where I go into detail about that. But long story short, I have been trying to figure out ways in wearing my natural hair, and I noticed something that was making my journey a little bit harder than most, and maybe you guys can relate to this or not, was that I was starting to take in and consume a lot of content. And whenever you're consuming a lot of hair content in particular, it can really impact you in subtle ways that you don't realize it.
Everything that's entertaining is not healthy for you to consume. This is not limited just to social media. This could be a conversation that you have with someone. This could be the music you listen to, or even a movie that you watch. Our mind is delicate, and eventually what you're taking in, it affects your perspective, how you think, your mood, and so on and so forth.
And in particular, once I started making these videos this past year, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much information out there and so much contradicting information as well, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. This person doesn't use any heat at all. This person swears by these products. This person is a non-toxic girly saying that all these products will disrupt hormones. This person is saying silicones are totally fine. It was just a lot going on, and so I started to think, there was a right and wrong way of doing things. And I realized that can make your own journey so hard.
And the only way around this is to stop viewing it as right versus wrong and instead a journey. Journeys are not linear, and sometimes you have to accept that you will fall down, you will be stagnant, and at other times you may take great leaps. This includes products, styles, and systems. A style that was working for you in one season may not work for you in another season, and a product that's working for thousands of people may not work for you. And if this sounds like a lot of work, it's because in the beginning when you're learning these things, it can be. But remember, journeys aren't meant to happen overnight. Take a break some seasons if you need to, and remember, it does get easier.
Inconvenient to twist your hair every night for a twist out. It's inconvenient to get a relaxer and burn your scalp. It's inconvenient to sit 8 hours for braids and feel the pain of braids. It's inconvenient to monitor your lace and make sure it's not lifting. It's inconvenient to shave your hair and have to reshave it. It's inconvenient to shield your silk press from the rain. It's inconvenient to blend 4C leave out with straight bundles. It's inconvenient to lay down with a ponytail. Now, the point isn't that natural hair is no maintenance at all. That would be unrealistic. No matter what you do, there's always a drawback.
Where you go for information and what you take in can impact your journey. And so I recommend finding a good 2 to 3 people who you trust. They align with your views on different things, whether that's you wanting to be more low tox, whether that's you wanting to wear only natural hairstyles, whether that's you not being afraid of heat, you dabbling in heat. Find about 2 or 3 people and rock out with that. I don't recommend getting your main source of information from a bunch of different sources, because over time you will see they start overlapping and then they start contradicting each other, and then that kind of will leave you feeling like, okay, so am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something right? Should I be doing this? Should I not?
A lot of you are not progressing in your journey with your hair because you're spending too much time asking for tips and tricks than you are executing. You need to get off this phone and get in that field, aka that bathroom. You cannot rely on everyone else's experience to dictate the experience that you are going to have with your hair. Sometimes you're going to have to fail. Sometimes you're going to win. Sometimes you're not going to like it. But you have to start doing.
Don't fight me for this, but protective styling is easy mode. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against protective styles. Okay, I love me a little break with a protective style. But at a certain point, you gotta get in the trenches and learn how to do your hair, learn how to take care of your hair. You have protective styled your way to your goal length, and congratulations, by the way, like that's a big deal. But because you never took the time to actually learn how to do your hair and keep your hair healthy while it's in its out state, or because you have given off all the responsibility, or at least 90% of the responsibility, to your beautician, you don't know how to do your hair, and so now you're at risk of undoing all of your hard work.
You can find out how to do your hair and get information one or two ways. You can either go to a professional. You will find professionals who contradict each other as well, because they are human just like us. Or you can do trial and error on yourself, which I always think is a lovely way, because nothing gets you knowledge like boots on the ground, hands in the sand, figuring it out on yourself. And not only that, but following a lot of these professionals online, you open yourself up to people who are on different paths in their hair goals, and you start putting that persona onto yourself, which kind of brings me into my next point. Sometimes we'll end up going to a natural hairstylist who will prioritize and value other things over certain things. Some people are chasing the perfect curl, some people are chasing length.
One thing that I've noticed, basically my whole entire hair journey, I've been relaxed, I've been natural for about 10 years. And what I can say is that my hair naturally grows into a V shape. Anytime that I have gone to a new hairdresser where they cut my hair straight across in the back, without fail, within 3 to 6 months, it starts to taper itself into a V shape. And they cut it straight across. They're cutting off so much length, not keeping in consideration that all of our hair does not grow like that. Your hairs are growing at different rates all over your head. There's no way that your hair would always be evenly straight across the back every single time.
And because of these things, you have to find out your why on why you're on this journey. You have to ask yourself, what are your own personal goals with your hair? Is it length retention? You wanting to see your hair grow and see longer hair? Is it you enjoying your hair and wearing it out and having freedom in your hair, even if that looks like you may not retain as much length? Or is it versatility and styling? You wearing your natural hair, but you not totally doing away with heat. You being able to straighten your hair and enjoy switching it up from time to time. You have to figure out what is important for you, because one thing that happens to a lot of us is, especially if we're online or we have a small circle of friends with their own hair journey, I feel like people who wear their own hair, they don't wear hair extensions. It's not a lot. It's becoming more popular, but it's not a lot of us. For a lot of us, we grew up around people who wore, wigs or who wore sew-ins or whatever. So when we see someone else like us, we're like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And we have to remember, in doing that, you can kind of take on what this person is saying and make it apply to you, even though that person's goal may be completely versatility and your goal may be completely length retention. And so if you're taking this person's advice and she's recommending straight natural, and you're like, oh no, I want to do length retention, for you, that may not be the best thing. Even though I know a lot of people are saying that they're retaining a lot of length with going the straight natural route, but for you, it may look entirely different. And so that's why I say, find out what is important to you and then go dig out that content that is ideal for you, or go talk and chat with those girls that are ideal for you. In the beginning of my hair journey, I always thought that my main goal was length retention. And I quickly realized, okay, if my main goal is length retention, or if your main goal is length retention, the way to really maximize that is with styles that will have you tuck your ends so that they're not rubbing up against the fabrics, or styles that allow you to keep your hair tucked away for 3-4 weeks at a time, sometimes more. Now, what I didn't realize was that, Gwen, that is actually not your main goal here. Your main goal is to enjoy your hair and have freedom. It was literally like an epiphany. I was like, for so many years, I was thinking that my main goal was length retention, and I was trying to get maximum length retention while also wearing my hair out. Because for me, I don't personally see the reason and the point of having long, beautiful hair if I have to have it tucked all the time.
Not consider braid outs or twist outs protective styles, but I want to break this down to make my thought process a little bit more digestible for you guys. So there are some hairstyles that are in the length retention category, and by that I'm talking wigs with cornrows underneath, or maybe a flat twist updo. With these styles, you're going to retain the maximum amount of length that you possibly can. Then there are styles in the length maintenance category. I'm making up these terms, so if you search it, you're probably not going to find anything. When I think of hairstyles in this category, this is where the braid outs and the twist outs fall. So I am going to suffer some breakage through natural wear and tear, therefore I am not going to retain the maximum amount of length that I can, but I'm confident that I'll at least be able to maintain the length I'm currently at. And obviously my hair will grow slowly but surely, but the baseline is being able to maintain my current hair length. Then we have the length destroyer hairstyles. This may vary from person to person. I know my length destroyer hairstyles are always going to be braids with added hair.
I didn't realize, like, okay, why am I not seeing as much length retention as when I would go and wear my twists with my hair being down? And that's when it hit me. I was looking for the results of length retention while having hair enjoyment and freedom. And once I saw this, I had to understand, okay, that will not look like you retaining every single inch of your hair. And for me, it's a wonderful trade-off. As long as I'm not losing hair, which I did go through a period of that because I bleached my hair and I damaged my hair. Finally, we're coming back, okay? But the stretching hairstyles has been such a lifesaver for me. My twist outs and my braid outs on pre-stretched hair. That allows me to get both of my goals in. If your goal is length retention, do the mini twist.
This was a result of me keeping my mini twist in for about, 5 months, retaining length through things like mini twists, even mini braids. I think the key to it though is using your own hair.
If you don't care about wearing your hair out, you're like, look, it's not important to me. I don't care about wearing my hair down or whatever. I can tuck it away, or I'm home for a season. Rock out with it. Your hair will grow like weeds, okay? Especially if you're taking care of it and you check your vitamins, getting your nutrients, your minerals, all those kind of things, your hair will grow, guaranteed. Some people, they are maybe more fashionable, okay? And so for them, they really do like the idea of being able to wear different colors in their hair.
The girl from Joburg to me now, and that's what they prefer.
They want to dye their hair. Your main goal is versatility and styling. And for them, they understand, okay, I am risking a little bit of health or length. I'm risking that by making myself happy with what I want to do with my hair. Because at the end of the day, your hair goals and the reason that these journeys are so personable to us is because they are for us. And if we're so busy trying to follow what Susan is doing with her hair, while Susan is rocking out with her own journey, she's happy with how her hair looks, and we're trying all these things, but it's making us miserable inside because we have to wear mini twists and we don't want to wear mini twists. What is the point? You know, like, no, you should enjoy your hair journey and be real with yourself. So find out what is going to work best for you. And after you find out your personal goals, the things that's going to make you happy, align your routine with those goals. So as we talked about length retention, go after styles that will maximize and give you the utmost amount of length retention.
18 things I'd do if I were on a super serious length retention journey, which I'm not. Number 1, I'd use clips instead of ponytail holders. Number 2, I'd stick to one of 3 hairstyles, and no, y'all, it's not gonna be braids. But I will say, with each hairstyle, you gotta pick your poison. I do mini twists, knowing it's gonna be a 12-hour install, 12-hour takedown, and it's gonna get frizzy. I'd be a blow dry or a straight natural, knowing heat damage is a possible risk, so I would try to do my own silk presses, and I would use the Rev Air to do my blowout. And the third one is I'd wear a full wig and do my own cornrows underneath, knowing that wig may not ever look like my real hair. Number 3, I would not dye or bleach my hair, period. Number 4, if my hair was shoulder length, I'd never let the ends of my hair touch my shoulders, ever. Number 5, I take my hair vitamins every single day. I'm talking every day. No skips. And number 18, I love my hair and myself at every stage, no matter the length, the color, or the texture.
If your goal is the enjoyment like mine is, maybe that looks like you doing regular wash and goes, or you doing regular twist outs or braid outs.
My braiding curl lasted only 5 days, so let me walk you through what I did and how it's looking. Day 1, we had an event to go to, so my braiding curl was fresh and looking fabulous. But that night we went to my granny's and my mom was cooking, so the kitchen was hot. That's why day 2 looks very frizzy and puffy. My hair definitely poofed up, but it was still super cute and not very tangled. Day 3 is a blur, to be honest, but there's not much difference from day 2. Still fluffy, still poofy, minimal definition, still cute enough to wear. Now on day 4, I probably would have put this in a ponytail if I had left the house, but the curls at the ends were still super cute. And day 5 is going to be wash day. Still cute, but definitely more matted. And had I not been in that humid kitchen, it definitely would have lasted longer.
If enjoyment is your thing, it may look like you not retaining that much length, or you needing to plait your hair maybe twice a week. But you know that you're getting your enjoyment out of it because you feel like you are showing up. Your hair is out in all its glory and it's showcasing diversity and the beauty in diversity. And then of course, if your main goal is versatility, like we mentioned, that will look like if you're getting color, you're doing heat bonding treatments, which I found a video on bonding treatments from this girl and it was so helpful.
I have tried over 15 different bond repair products on my natural hair to find out which ones actually work and are worth your money. Rarely does any protective styling, and regular heat styles, bond repair products are essential to my routine. So many brands have come out with their own, and while some of these brands have truly innovated and created something new,
I'm not really good with like the scientific stuff. I just try out different stuff, see if it's working for me, do away with it. If it's not, keep it if it is. But this girl's videos, I will go ahead and tag her video down below because I thought, first of all, the way she presents herself, it's so cute and so lovely to look at. That may look more like you getting a trim more often if you do enjoy wearing your hair more straight, or doing these type of color styles and everything like that. I know I follow one girl who is blonde, I believe her name is Brandy, and she has like completely blonde hair, but her hair is, from what I see, healthy. So there is a way to have it and to keep up with the integrity of your hair and still retain length, even if that looks like having a trade-off, which is really what I want to hone in on. Every path you choose has a trade-off.
Even wearing styles majority of the time that we deem as convenient or choosing the easier path. If you're someone who wants to be a positive representation, especially for little girls, which we talk a lot about, if you choose to wear styles that don't really showcase that, your trade-off may be that something doesn't sit well inside you because you're not following your personal goal.
If I were to go after a strict length retention path, my trade-off will be not wearing my hair down. Anything you do in life will have a trade-off. Don't let anyone tell you that any path is perfect. If you guys don't know me, I am a homemaker. And if it's one thing that I've learned with choosing to stay home and to raise my boy, now, Lord willing, kids, is that path comes with a trade-off too. And that's okay, because you personally have to weigh what is important for you. If this goal that you have is more important than making tons of money, or you having your hair being a representation of Black hair care out in the world is more important than you having the longest Rapunzel hair, you make that decision and then you stick with it, because you realize everything in life will have a trade-off, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Because how will we ever learn sacrifice? How will we ever grow as people if it didn't come with the trade-off? And it's beautiful because it just shows that to every one of us, success looks different. Success can look like you mentally realizing, okay, I'm gonna choose progress over perfect. I'm going to choose to love where I am on my hair journey over comparison, over comparing to other people, which is a whole separate topic, because I noticed, like, even with natural hair, like, of course we see comparison amongst looks or lifestyles or whatever all the time, but even amongst natural hair, you can tend to compare yourself. And the only thing that I have to say about that is, if you ever find yourself comparing your life to someone else, you don't know who is graced for that kind of life or that kind of journey. Those people could be graced for a life that you are not completely built for. And so whenever you see someone who has a certain thing, know that that thing is for that person and they're just striving in that. And if you receive that same end goal that that person received, it may do you more harm than good. Or sometimes you may not even rock it the same way that that person rocks it.
And this applies to everything. This applies to hair, lifestyle, goals, families. There are certain qualities and traits that each person possess that matches a certain goal the best. So when everyone is chasing the same exact goal, remember that you may not possess those qualities that certain goals require or that they need to sustain themselves. And that's why it's always important to find out what your qualities are and what goal it best matches with. And this is going to benefit you in the long run, because it won't always feel forced. It won't always stress you out and feel daunting.
You know, one thing that I always like to say is, we see sometimes people who have these beautiful lifestyles. Let's say she got that life because she's a doctor. For some women, they are graced for the academic. And for other people, we're like, this would not work for me. And that also applies to our hair journeys as well. Some people who have super duper long hair, they have to do things to retain it. Now, I know a lot of people think it's genetics. It's not always genetics. A lot of the time, people who have long hair take good care of their hair. And you have to do certain things to maintain it. Oh, I want this person's results. But if the Lord were to give you this person's results, would you know how to handle that? Would you know how to maintain that? You know, some people don't even want to tie their hair up every night. Granted, some people may not need to. But some of us, we know, if I go to bed on this pillow, okay, without anything on my head, and I wake up, congratulations. I played myself. I know I'm going to play myself. And that's a beautiful shift in mindset when you think about comparison. And it allows you to think, okay, I don't need to compare. I don't need to want what others have. I need to just focus on, again, what are my goals? What is something I'm graced for? What are the traits that the Lord personally gave me? And how can I carry that out in a life that is fulfilling? That is going to give you the best results. Whether that's hair, whether that's careers, whether that's the way you live your life, if you choose to have kids, whatever that is. If I don't film another video before the year is over, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I hope you guys enjoy this holiday season. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.